Hi, I'm Kili, also known as Kelly.
And I'm Feely, also known as Alex,
Welcome to our corner of the Shire,
where we will show you how to bring Middle Earth
into your daily life to keep you
a happy hobbit.
Welcome to this episode of Happy Hobbit. Nothing says summer like a juicy, scrumptious cherry pie. I have actually never made one before because cherries are quite expensive, but there was recently a sale in our corner of the Shire on frozen cherries. I guess they were from the far north or something, where there's glaciers. Maybe they're from Farnost. But suffice it to say, this is going to be my first attempt at making a cherry pie using frozen cherries. So I opted not to demonstrate how to make a pie crust using my frenemy, the food processor, because you can refer back to my recent episode, Fairy Berry Pie, to see a whole demonstration on how that works or sometimes doesn't work. And I have made a pie crust using the pie or food processor, not pie processor. So that's what you'll be seeing today. And without further ado, let's get to the filling. Since I've already made the crust, I'm gonna start on the filling. So what I have is 2 bags of dark sweet cherries, and they each are 12 ounces. So the recipe I am using calls for 4.5 cups. So I'm going to, ooh, wow. Oh, I thought they were cut in half. So the first thing you want to do is cut your cherries in half. Thankfully these have already been pitted, so I know that's not being counted in the weight, but we're gonna switch gears here. It may look like there's been a murder here, but believe it or not, I was just halving cherries. Halving, like Halfelvin, Halvin, Elron Halvening cherries. And we had a little mix-up where Bard thought he was recording, but instead he'd accidentally taken a photo. It was a nice photo of the knife on the cherries. But thankfully, we have another bag of cherries that I also need to turn into halvins. Half elrond, half elvins. But in fact, I'm gonna do this while I'm cutting them up and let some of the juices flow right into the bowl. Okay. So, this recipe calls for most of the cherries to be halved in half, and some of them to be in quarters, because that apparently helps with the cooking process and the consistency. So since I already have a whole bowl of halved ones, one's kind of small, I guess I'm gonna quarter these as much as possible. This juice looks a lot like the disgusting stuff they forced the Uruk-hai forced Merry and Pippin to orc grog. It's kind of stressful trying to document this at the moment because no one was in the kitchen, but then as soon as we started filming and having some technical difficulties, everyone in the world needed to be in the kitchen. So we're not one of those like YouTubers who actually has our own private residence where we can do stuff in our little hobbit hole without interruptions. We have to work around a lot of different schedules. But we're getting there, and believe it or not, no one's gonna end up like this. And we'll do some Hobbit yoga or something after this. So, as I was saying, you do want to have them and then quarter. I'm doing a significant portion because it's a new recipe. And well, I'm excited to see how it turns out. To your cherry mixture, you add a 1/4 cup of cornstarch and 2/3 of a cup of sugar. Sprinkling that on. Oh, wow, it's going into the crevasses. And before I toss it, I am going to get a tablespoon? Yes, a tablespoon of juice out of this lemon. Back at the scene of the crime. Another murder. Gonna squeeze some juice into the sugar bowl. It's always harder to squeeze lemons than I think it will be. Okay, well, if I don't count the seeds. Take out the seeds, actually. It smells really good. Now I want lemonade. I've been on a real lemonade kick lately. Here we go. Okay. And now, because this mixture is not a dwarf, I can toss it. Toss it, toss it, toss it, toss it, mix it up. Karad Raz has come to the Orcish kind. Far North Fornost is blending. Ew, there's definitely some chunks of cornstarch. I really hate it when that happens. Maybe the lemon juice will help dissolve them, but it looks like it's collecting into the pits of the cherries. And now they've become pits of despair. It smells really good though. That's pretty well mixed. To this, I am going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you know, our cooking secret is always, why not add a little extra? And then a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. Of course, it's a brand new one, so. I shouldn't have trimmed my nails yesterday. There we go. Now this almond extract I don't usually add extra to because it's strong. Well, I don't know how much just went in. I don't know if I should pour this whole thing in or not. Let me get some back in the... And I missed putting it back. Okay, well, you know what? It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. It just poured out like a spout. Right as I was saying, it's kind of strong. But you know what? Almond really complements cherry, so just don't tell my brother. Don't tell Sam, as he's known on this show, because he really doesn't like almond anything. It'll be our little secret. We'll see if he detects it in the pie. So now I'm gonna let this hang out in the refrigerator while I prepare the bottom pie crust. It smells really good. Oh, the bottle was full. Now it's not. While the mixture is resting in the fridge, I am going to start working with this disc of pie dough that I likewise had in the fridge. It feels kind of hard, so I'm not sure how easy it's going to be for me to roll it out. He won't let me put him on camera. He says it's in his contract to have a 3-month advance notice if he is to be filmed for Happy Hobbit, but Bard made a really good joke. Can you at least say your joke? Okay, he won't even say it now. But that's, we need an almond extract extractor. I thought it was a good one. Oh boy. This is always an adventure. I've never ever made a perfectly round pie crust. They say turn it every quarter, turn it in quarters. I don't know why I make other people sound like that in my head. So I went ahead and made the recipe for an 11-inch pie crust again because that's the pie plate we have. This is starting to look more like a continent than a pie crust. And that's the problem with not being able to do it in a circle. You never know, like, when you have it big enough, because there's all these continental edges and peninsulas hanging off. Maybe it's one of those things in life that you just take a few extra minutes or even an extra 30 seconds and do something that makes it a lot easier for you down the road. I've just never been good at those things. There we go. Continental drift. Kind of looks like Numenor, I say, without really remembering what the island of Numenor looks like. Sugar. How big is this thing? That's almost big enough, actually. That's almost big enough. I can kind of patch this up. This is why I don't like win contests. I did, however, win, I believe, 3rd place in People's Choice at the Shire's pie baking contest last summer, where I made my Sasquatch slop pie. In fact, there's an episode about it you can watch. Okay, I'm just gonna have to see if I can do it, because I don't really have any other options. Come on, buddy. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. There's that phrase, oh, it's easy as pie. I've never understood that. Pie crust has never been something so easy for me. I'm just doing some patchwork here. I'm just taking some of like the excess pieces and I think what happened too is the dough got a little dried out in the fridge, even though it wasn't in there long. All right, we're gonna call that good enough. The next step is to take a slotted spoon and carefully scoop out cherries, letting the juice dribble back into the bowl, and then gently lay them into the pie. The reason for doing this is to allow the juice to remain in the bowl because we're going to do something special with it in a moment. Thankfully it smells a little less almondy. Maybe some of the almond extract got extracted. I'm not quite sure how much I'm supposed to let it drip. Take a bigger spoonful. Orc grog. We do have a cherry tree that's producing fruit here at our Hobbit hole, and I've been having my eye on these 2 cherries as they got ripe. They were nice and red, but not quite dark enough to pick yet. And wouldn't you know it, we came home from a festival that I was selling my wares at on Saturday, and I walked out toward the garden just in time to see a blue jay flying away with a ripe cherry, and there was bird netting on the cherry tree, and the blue jay had just used that as a perch to reach the cherries. I was not best pleased. This is quite a bit of juice, probably because they were frozen. I'm gonna call that good enough, so I'm gonna spread this out into the pie shell. I probably technically was supposed to have a few more cherries because this is an 11-inch pie pan rather than a 9, the traditional 9. But as ever, I work with what I have. So I'm gonna place this in the fridge while I do the next step. So I ended up with quite a bit of juice. It's said to do this with a few tablespoons of juice, but I think you probably have less juice if you're using fresh cherries. What I'm doing is putting it into a saucepan, and then I'm gonna cook it on medium heat just for a few minutes to let it reduce a bit before I add it to the pie, and this will help it thicken. Okay, so I've got the cherry juice in this saucepan on medium-low heat, and I'm just gonna cook it for 3 to 5 minutes and watch it set up. It's been about 4 minutes, and I'm not sure what I'm looking for. If it's been reducing or not. Maybe it will take a little longer just because I had more than a few tablespoons of juice. We'll see. Oh yeah, that's thickened. So it took closer to 10 minutes, I think, because we had more volume. So I'm gonna turn off the heat and let it cool for about 5 minutes before I put it on to the pie. And as it's cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and start rolling out the top crust. I'm going to start rolling out the crust for the top. A traditional cherry pie has a lattice topped crust. I've never actually done that before, And I didn't really want to do that for this pie just because I have enough issues with crusts as it is. But on that note, I started to think maybe it's easier to roll it out and just cut strips from it than it is to try to roll it out in any kind of a circle. So, depending on how I manage to do this, I might actually go for it. And it'll just be another culinary adventure here on Happy Hobbit, also known as Hungry Hobbit, because we do a lot of cooking episodes. Mend that crack really. Yeah, that didn't work. But look, this is hilarious. Because I said I was gonna do strips, it's more or less turning into a circle. That's Murphy's Law. Okay, how to estimate here. I'm gonna do them as big strips. Okay, I'm gonna try some 2-inch wide, basically, strips. That would be about 2 inches. That would be about 2 inches. Oh boy, this is stressful. I'm not good at keeping things straight. I've got 2, so what am I supposed to do now with my leftover continent? Yeah, I can do. I'm really not confident about this. But you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I'm just gonna roll out again the other bits. I'm gonna put these here. They're kind of like noodles right now. Those can go there, and then roll it out all over again. I apologize, this isn't very exciting viewing. But as I always say, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Or you might just watch this and go, I'm not even gonna try to do this pie. It gives you a lot of appreciation for people who can do this really well. It's definitely too short. We'll see what happens with this. We'll find out. Now that this has cooled, you can definitely tell it has thickened. And it's a beautiful dark color. So I'm just going to dribble it over the cherries. There's a little steam coming up because the cherries are cold from the fridge and from being frozen. Ooh, it smells really good. Then wish me luck. I'm gonna attempt this lattice. I'm really scared. Okay. I'm just gonna like lay one, but this is a long one. I guess I'll do it like that. And like, you know what? I'm gonna start with the shorter ones, even though I just got cherry on that. I'm wondering if it'll be easier. Oh. It wasn't long enough, but I can kind of stretch it out. Okay. Put this one more in the middle. This is kind of like Gonzo in Muppet Treasure Island when he gets all stretched out. And then, can I take this one, go over, under, over, and take this one and go under, over, under, and then take this one and go over, under, over. Oh my gosh! It vaguely resembles a lattice. No way. Okay. You expect the worst, you'll always be surprised, or if you expect nothing, you'll always be surprised. So now, I still don't know what to do about these little bits where there isn't much crust. But now, I'm just kind of crimping it down to make it all stick together and also make it look a little tidier. But it's kind of difficult because the bottom crust is cold and the top crust is warmed up. This isn't nearly as bad as I was worried it was going to be. I'm sure professional bakers are cringing watching this. Yeah, you can go live there. I was supposed to have dotted it with butter. I might stick some cubes into the little holes. If you attempt this pie at home, you'll remember to put in the butter. It looks very rustic. And I'm just gonna always tell people that's the look I was going for, rustic. What else would I be doing? Live at the edge of a forest. Everything's rustic. He kicks me to communicate because he doesn't even want his voice on camera now. That's how much I've abused and tortured this poor sod. And if you don't know what I'm talking about by torturing him, have a look at our reaction video to the Rings of Power Season 2 trailer, in which he did a great job, but just really was not happy on camera. Which I completely understand. I've had many years to get accustomed to this, and it still feels weird. I want to look at the... What happened? Nothing? I want to look at the man behind the camera, but I have to look at the lens. And I'm being kicked to look at the lens? I'm just being kicked for the sake of being kicked at this point. Okay, look, it's rustic cute, right? As long as it vaguely resembles a pie, I'm gonna call it good. Am I done yet? I think I'm done. Okay. You can stop now. I'm gonna add that. A little bit of butter. Got my little pieces of cold butter. I'm just sticking them in the holes because I forgot to do this. Oops. Before I put the lattice on. Okay, there we go. You can do an egg wash on the crust of this pie, but like I did with the fairy berry pie, or pies rather, I'm just doing some milk because at this point it's getting late and I just want to get this pie in the oven so that we can have it as our dessert. And it's going to go into the oven, also known around here as Smaug's mouth, for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Then you're going to reduce the temperature to 375 while the pie is in Smaug. I'm just sprinkling it with some sugar. As if there wasn't enough sugar already. If you have, again, the chunky, coarse sugar, that's what you should be putting on top, but I still don't have it, so it is what it is. Okay, so I have the pie on a baking sheet. Going to put it into Smaug's mouth and set the timer for 20 minutes. Okay, so the juices have been bubbling for roughly 5 minutes. It's time to take it out of the oven. Ooh. Whoa, it got so dark. Definitely didn't want the crust to cook any longer than that. Look at that bubble.
Hi, Mischief.
Well, the pie is done and I just finished watering in the garden and I'm taking a moment to just appreciate the sunset and the beautiful plant friends that I have around me. I will follow up with footage of the pie once we actually cut into it for dinner tonight, but thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe or share this video or any of our videos with a friend of yours or a loved one who you think would also enjoy this type of wholesome hobbity goodness. I don't know what else to say. I never know what to say. I can't even tell if I'm like really in it. I guess I am. Just the lighting right now is pretty funky. But this has been quite the episode. It just gets stressful when you're in a house with a lot of people and you're trying to film something and people are also trying to use the kitchen. And then Bard has been really great helping me film, but he's not as familiar with cameras and stuff as I am, per se. So it's been a lot, but we got it done. Oh, it's really juicy.
I think I made it too narrow.
It looks really soupy.
Crush the tip.
Oh, yeah. Looks good. Looks good. Somebody had to make the first
Yeah, the first one's always the ugliest.
inroad into it.
You can stop if you want. I swear they said... Okay, I'm recording. Welcome to this episode. Now, given how expensive cherries often are, it says recording on the bottom left. What's the timestamp? You may have just... I just halved a bunch of cherries. And Bard thought he was filming, but he wasn't. It's the kind of results you get. And there's someone creeping through the kitchen. Oh, he said, I can't go to sleep. I have to see what you guys are doing. What's he doing? What's he doing? Are you gonna do a show? I'm gonna do a show. You doing a show? Oh my gosh. Sorry. Missy Muppet. You just saw the camera. You silly goose. You trying to do that stuff? You're really tired. That's good, babe.
I don't think so.
So when had it stopped? It was
I'd
just
say-
like a
I'd
few
say it just
seconds.
stopped and started recording again
Okay,
straight
that's
away.
fine.
You'll have to mess with it in the edges.
It's recording right now.
No, it's not. Is this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Your
No.
joke you made up?
No.
No, you hide? Or do you want to be on that side? Are you good there? Okay. Cheated. Oh, that's very sweet. Definitely getting some almond. Mmm. It almost tastes like a cherry icy. Mmm, this is good. I just want to drink it. You can stop, yeah. Smile? What are you saying? So then... Whoa.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. No,